Am I the asshole for not taking my roommate's girlfriend to home? Getting up this morning, I was running late for my 45-minute commute. My roommate's girlfriend is in my living room expecting me to take her home because it's on my way. My roommate said I would. He had already left. I told her no, but she's begging me, saying she'll be late, and my roommate was called in early so he didn't have time to take her home. She's say Uber is too expensive, but I told her I'm running late and you're making me later, so I left. My roommate texted me calling me a huge asshole and it wouldn't have been a problem for me. I told him he's right, his girlfriend isn't a problem for me and he needs to sort out that entitlement or she's not staying over again. He was blowing up my phone all morning that I had to block him after he suggested splitting the Uber 3 ways because everyone is broke right now. I don't think it's my responsibility to pay for his girlfriend or run her around. Not the asshole. After he suggested splitting the Uber 3 ways because everyone is broke right now. So you have to pay for his GF to get home because they can't afford to be in a relationship. Bet they have money for dinner and drinks though. Not the asshole. Your roommate had no business volunteering your services without asking you. Not the asshole. It's not your responsibility to drive her home or to pay for her Uber. That's his responsibility and his girlfriend. Not the asshole. As we always see in this thread, their lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on your part. If truly on your way, you could have offered to drop her off at a stoplight near her place and she could walk the remaining distance. But even that is still a favor. One that you weren't asked if you were willing to perform. These people are entitled. Not the asshole. So roommate didn't have time to take girlfriend home and that's okay, but OP doesn't have time and he's getting flack for it. And it's not even OP's responsibility. Ridiculous. Not the asshole in any way. They shouldn't have just expected you to do this without discussion. The Uber fee is on them. Not the asshole. I absolutely wouldn't do it if I were you either. It's okay for them to ask, but they aren't entitled. Not the asshole. This is simply not your responsibility. You're nice enough to even let her sleep over. If he wants her there, he better also figure out how to get her back home. Not the asshole if you would have been late by dropping her off. Roommate and his GF are AH for just assuming you'd drop her off without prior knowledge or planning. Maybe if you'd known ahead of time and could have worked that into the plan, but not as a surprise. Not the asshole. You didn't agree to drive her and you were never asked. His girlfriend is his problem. If they were really that broke and he got called in early, why didn't he just take her home early? My roommate texted me calling me a huge asshole and it wouldn't have been a problem for me. I told him he's right, his girlfriend isn't a problem for me. This made my day. Not the asshole. As you said, she's not your problem. Know your responsibility. For your roommate to assume you would to something like that without asking. He's the WTF, not the asshole at all. She's not your responsibility. He assumed you'd drive her home without even asking you first. Set hard boundaries. F that guy. Not the asshole. It's his GF. And one of them is responsible for her getting home if she stays the night with you guys. Just because it's on your way to work doesn't make it okay for them to rely on you to give her a ride. Not the asshole. Sorry that you have to deal with a shitty roommate and his girlfriend. Looks like this will eventually pass. And you'll move on. Life's too short to be with shitty people. Not the asshole. It's not your responsibility. you the right thing and threw it back in roommate's face when he acted stupid about it. Not the asshole. That's between them. Not you. You're not a taxi driver. The fact he just signed you up for it and then left is rude as hell. And if he was called in early, he should have either left her some cash for an Uber, B, woken her up early and taken her home before going to work. Not sure how this is your problem. They're both complaining about being late. But not one of them cares if you're late. That tells you all you need to know. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Not asking you beforehand was their play. They are just mad you said no. Not the asshole. I assume she had to Uber using her limited funds then. Like, what if you had slept in longer? Was she going to barge in there? Dick move on her BF to ditch her with you. Not the asshole. He should have asked you privately and confirmed before making this commitment on your behalf. You are not responsible for his GF's transportation or costs. If he was concerned about her safety or timely arrival, he could have volunteered to pay for her Uber. Why is GF going to the apartment at all if she has not planned for how she will get back home? Our move to just show up and expect a ride. When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers on school nights. There was a good reason for this. Splitting the Uber 3 ways. What? Not the asshole, he didn't even ask if you could drop her off. Not your girl. Not your problem. Not your circus. Not your monkey to take home. So not the asshole. Not the asshole. It wasn't your responsibility and they didn't ask. If Uber is expensive, tell your roommate to introduce this girl to public transportation. Not the asshole. Total dick move. I hate when I hear people doing that under the guise of, oh well, you have to do it now. No, you don't. Not the asshole, that is absurd. In TAR you never agree to taking her and no one spoke to you about taking her. They just assumed you would because she was on the way. You don't owe them Uber money. She made the decision to stay over. She can pay, or maybe next she shouldn't stay over and your roommate stays at her place instead. Not the asshole. I had no idea people were so entitled before I started reading this sub. Sounds like he can't afford to date. No. You're already late and have shit to do. Your roommate assumed you would without clearing it with you. You're not the one eating the biscuit. So you shouldn't be doing the favors. Why is it okay for you to be late but not the other two people? Not the asshole, and you summed it up perfectly to your roommate. Their girlfriend isn't your problem. Not the asshole, it's not your responsibility. They didn't even ask if you could. Refuse to pay and firmly place the boundary that you will not chauffeur someone else around without them asking permission X amount of time in advance and must pay for gas. I got into this problem so much with my ex and ex-roommate. It's a huge headache and not worth the hassle. Not the asshole. Keep going as you mean to go on before you're buying only the brands she uses or paying to include her in groceries. He wouldn't drop her off because he'd be late, but he calls you an R for doing the exact same thing. He's totally the asshole. Not your pig, not your farm. Not the asshole. You're right. It's not your problem. But don't expect any favors from him in the future. Not the asshole. She needs to act like an adult and get a car. Man shrugging. Not the asshole. Bro, you know you're in the right. Not the asshole. This is ridiculous. TIFU for letting my 4-year-old niece play my old Pokemon game. This happened a few days ago. My niece came over to my house to play. And after a while she got bored. So I let her play on my old GBASP. I also have an old copy of Pokemon Crystal. So I just let her run around and battle random wild Pokemon. Thing is, I thought it would be funny to name all my Pokemon after swear words, some really offensive ones too, and I forgot I named them after those as I haven't played it in a while. So I let her play it. And after a while she manages to pull up the screen that shows your team. And sure enough, all 6 of my Pokemon are shiny Feraligatr, shiny Gyarados, Blastoise from Red, Crobat, Ho-Oh and Tyranitar were named after swear words. Sure enough, she tries pronouncing them because she thinks they sound funny. When her mom, aka my cousin, went to pick her up, she told her about the cool new game she played, and told her the names of the characters in the game, aka the swear words. Needless to say, my cousin was pissed at me. TLDR niece learned some new words from playing Pokemon. Am I the asshole for threatening to kick out stepdaughter for stealing from daughter? 4 years ago my wife passed away due to breast cancer, leaving me and my daughters 19F and 17F behind. 5 years ago I met Vicky and we quickly fell in love. Vicky has a daughter, Heather, and together they came to live with us. Vicky and I did not get married, however. So Heather isn't technically my stepdaughter. Almost from the beginning Heather wasn't very nice towards me. To say the least, I tried to get to know her and at least establish a cordial relationship. But nothing worked. She was very disrespectful and hateful to me, but also to her mother. Heather also picked verbal fights with my daughters. But I squashed that soon after it happened. Heather was the instigator and I told her that if she had a problem, she should direct it at me instead of at my daughters. It seemed to work. Last week was Casey's, my eldest daughter, 19th birthday. I gave her a spa package treatment for 2 persons, total $500 in the form of a gift card. And told her she could pick another person to go with. She chose her younger sister, who was happy to go. They would pick a date and make the reservation. Casey wanted to make the reservation 2 days ago, but couldn't find the gift card. After hours of searching we couldn't find it. When Heather came home we asked if she had seen it. She told us she didn't. After another hour, Vicky found the gift card in Heather's room against Heather's protests. After a while Heather admitted she took the card from Casey's room and went to the spa 2 days ago with her girlfriend. I was pissed and told her that if she didn't pay Casey $500, I would kick her out. Since Heather doesn't have a job and has dropped out of college, she says she can't pay it. She has been living at my house rent-free with everything paid for. I told her if she can't pay for it, she should go live with her deadbeat father instead. She called me every name in the book and locked herself in her room. Vicky says it was an asshole move, since she has nowhere to go and her father won't pay for her to live with him. So, am I the asshole? I mean, this is the hill to die on. Your priorities need to be your kids and you are allowing a stressful and hostile living situation. Vicky needs to know. Either Heather goes or you can no longer live together. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, she just stole $500. That's insane. Tell her to get a job to pay it back or she can deal with it with the police. Not the asshole. Op. You should kick her out no matter what happens. She's 24 and stole from your kid who just turned 19. Someone like that might find a way to come up with the money to keep the peace. But she has no respect for you or your children if she'd do that. Nothing good can come from letting this person stay in your house. By allowing her to stay, you are telling your children you are willing to compromise with someone who would do this to them. You would be the asshole if you don't kick her out, even if she does pay the money back. Not the asshole. So is Vicky going to pay the $500? She's the mom who is defending her thief daughter. You need to take a very hard look at this whole relationship. Not the asshole. What does your GF suggest instead? Heather stole $500 and the experience of having the spa day from your daughter. She refuses to pay it back. She doesn't have a job and isn't getting one. So does your GF have a punishment in mind, or Heather just gets away with it? Not the asshole. A thief living in your house is not a good thing. You have to lock everything up and count everything. 24 is old enough to get a job and figure something else out. Not the asshole. Please get rid of this girl and her mom. You can do better and your kids deserve better too. Not the asshole. Heathers are the IF. If I were Casey, I'd take her to small claims court or press charges against her. As for you, throw her out. Not the asshole. It's clear her mom has let her get away with far too much in life already to think this is okay. Remove her from the situation until she can grow up so you don't push your own girls away. Not the asshole. You should kick her out. Should have done it sooner. She definitely crossed the line by stealing. And sorry to say, but you should dump Vicky too if she doesn't see the severity of Heather's actions. Not the asshole. You need to get rid of them both, Op. For you and your daughter's sake. I think you're the R because you are putting up with two grown and non-working adults in you and your daughter's home and taking their BS over both of your daughter's mental well-being. I think you'd be the asshole if you let her stay after that. She's not even close to being a child and needs a proper proverbial kick up the ass to allow her to grow up. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Tell Vicky and Heather that if one of them doesn't pay back the money immediately, you're going to file a police report. Then follow through with it if they don't pay. Nope. In tar. Sound alike. This 24-year-old woman has never had any real consequences and it's about time she did. Doesn't sound like her mother holds her accountable and enables her even if she doesn't realize it. Stand firm in this update is to please. You're the asshole if you don't kick her out, tbh. A grown woman who you aren't in a relationship with has stolen from your daughters in your house. And then locked herself in a room in your house. Her mum is enabling it and you need to realize who's in the wrong, her, and protect your daughters. If I was in your position where a 24-year-old woman was stealing such a financially large gift, she'd be out the second I found out. I wouldn't be asking Reddit. Grow a backbone. Tell your GF what's what and kick her daughter TF out. I have to wonder if Vicky wasn't the friend that her daughter brought with her to the spa. They both sound like users that don't bring anything into your household except for problems. I wonder what else has been stolen and just not noticed yet. Oh God. WTF is happening here? I can't even wrap my head around it. You're dating someone who's a stay-at-home mother but she doesn't cook. She was living with her ex-boyfriend and after he kicked her out, she started living mooching with you. And just not this. There's a buy one get one free offer here. Why are you doing this to you and your daughters? If you want to continue this relationship, Try telling them that they have to live separately and manage their expenses themselves and see how. You'll be the one who cheated and kicked him out to Vicky's next boyfriend. You're the asshole for letting Vicky and her brat move into your house and subjecting your daughters to her. And stealing $500 from your daughter is what? Child of the Year attempt. Not the asshole your GF is showing her preferences, which is understandable as is her daughter, but actions have consequences. She clearly haven't faced none before as she felt entitled to steal it. Not the asshole kick Heather and Vicky out. YTA for letting these kind of people in your daughter's lives. Not the asshole she's an adult, press charges and break up with her mother. Is Heather special needs? If not, she can get the fuck out. She's an adult. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'd have her arrested. Not the asshole. Not the asshole she's too old to be a mooch and being a thief is even worse. Not the asshole. I hope Casey files a police report because Heather needs some consequences. Not the asshole. I would recommend contacting the police.
Am I the asshole for screwing over all the people who donated their time and money? The PTA has been planning a fundraiser for months to raise money for new cheerleader uniforms. The old uniforms are very outdated, and all the kids are excited about getting new ones, including mine. Early in the planning, I agreed that my property could be used at no cost for the event, and that I would provide all the furnishing. Other people worked hard on making items to be sold at the fundraiser. Some people spent upwards of hundreds of hours and/or dollars for the event. At a recent meeting, the football coach said the equipment was badly worn out and needed to be replaced ASAP. A vote was held, and the majority voted that this fundraiser would be for the football team instead of the cheerleaders. I was pissed. Football is always the top priority. I went above and beyond here specifically to help out the cheerleading team. My child and all their friends on the team got their hopes up only to be dashed. I told everyone my property would no longer be available for use, and they would need to find a new venue. People panicked and got very angry, including several people who voted against the change. They said my decision was equivalent to throwing all their hard work in the trash. I asked them how they thought the cheerleaders would feel. They said it was a vote, and I was acting like a dictator, that I can't overrule the will of the majority. I said they can do what they like, but not on my property. I know they won't be able to find a venue this late, especially not at an affordable price. I understand I screwed over my friends, burned bridges, and am likely going to be kicked off the PTA. I just can't bring myself to help them. Am I a spiteful a-hole? Not the asshole. I would make it clear that the use of your property and the furnishings were your donation to the cheerleading team. As the fundraiser is no longer for this same team, your donation is not applicable. Not the asshole. This was a bait switch. You agreed to having a fundraiser for the cheerleaders at your property, not the football team. Not the asshole. 1. You were doing what you were for the cheerleaders. 2. They are massively screwing over the cheerleaders. 3. This should never have gone for another vote. The perceived less important thing always gets screwed. 4. You were right, that's exactly how the cheerleaders would feel. 5. Let them find another venue. You were doing this for the cheerleaders. 6. Good for you. Not the asshole. You agreed to host a fundraiser for the cheerleaders. Not the football team. They changed the conditions. And they can live with the consequences. Nope. And good for you. You did all the work, but the football players need it more was a disgraceful move by the coach. And you don't have to go along with it. Your property. Your conditions. Not the asshole. Force the idiots to reverse their decision and give the money where it belongs. Not the asshole. They can hold the event at the school for free. Not the asshole. You agreed to let them use your property for a fundraiser that would directly benefit school activities that your family is involved in. It is completely delusional of others to think that you would continue to host the fundraiser when the fundraiser was altered to no longer benefit school activities that your family is involved in. Not the asshole. You intended to host an event for cheerleading and not football. Now that the event priorities have changed, your space is no longer available. If they can change the reason for the fundraiser, you can decide to back out of loaning your space. Maybe they can have the fundraiser on the football field. Entire time to go commando and do a private fundraiser because they're just gonna keep pushing the cheerleaders aside for the sports. Not the asshole. They should hold a separate event for the football team. It's crappy that football is placed above any other activity in school. It may look like an asshole move, but it's not. The agreement was fundraising for cheerleaders on your property free of cost. PTA knowingly took an vote to destroy the hopes of a team in favor of another. That's bullying. It's your property. You can do as you please and no one has the right to judge you. Edit. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's your house and you can rescind the invitation if that's what you want to do. You offered your home under the impression that they fostered that proceeds went to the team you actually have a vested interest in. Had they stopped to think op is donating use of their property because they have a child in cheer? Will they still if no money in going to cheer? The obvious answer there is no. Or at least you would not be at fault for backing out. It was on the PTA to say we put it to a vote. We want the football team to get the money. Can we still use your property? We fully understand if you say no because the football team isn't what you signed up to help. Not the asshole. Anyone who promised support has a right to withdraw that support for whatever reason. And I don't see how it's true at all that anyone's work was thrown in the trash. All they have to do is find another venue, as you said, or find another way to sell the crafts they made, such as online. Also, whoever sells anything has the right to do whatever they want with the money, as long as they don't perpetrate any fraud on the buyer. Not the asshole. It's like they did a bait and switch on the cheerleaders, including your kid. Nothing wrong with you changing your mind since someone else changed their mind and moved football in from to the previously planned fundraiser for the cheerleaders. Not the asshole. You organized for a cheerleader fundraiser. The football team can do their own fundraiser. It was a bait and switch and these are the consequences for shady adults. Not the asshole. They changed the agreement. You changed your contribution. They don't have the right to volunteer your property. Not the asshole. You can't change the rules in the middle of the game. And they did. It's misrepresentation at best. Fraud at worst. You do well to distance yourself from all if it. They FAFO sucks to be them. They can deal with the consequences of your actions. You offered your property with the understanding it was to benefit the cheerleaders. It now is now. And you no longer want to offer your property. 100 Your decision, and it doesn't make you in a hole to withdraw the offer. Not the asshole, but if bridges are burned and you are kicked off anyway. I'd be going nuclear with notifying the community of this shitty vote and not to support the fundraiser. Let the football team wash fucking cars. Not the asshole, and thank you for standing up to this. It would be better if you held an event the same day for the cheerleaders and families on your property. A picnic or something. The bridge doesn't have to be burnt. Not the asshole, but if you really want to be petty, say you will allow it for a hefty sum and donate that to the cheerleaders. Not the asshole. I do not understand why more people who contributed to the cheerleaders did not stand up with you over the bait switch. Changing the purpose of a fundraiser after months of planning is abhorrent. Not the asshole. They are the one who decided to change the goal of this fundraiser. You agree and wanted to help the cheerleader, not the football team. Am I the asshole for not letting my nephew bring his service dog to my wedding? I am getting married in a few months to my fiancé. We have been planning our dream wedding for over a year, and everything is finally falling into place. However, there is one issue that has been causing quite a bit of controversy in our family. My nephew, James, has a service dog, Max, for his anxiety and panic attacks. Max is a well-trained and well-behaved dog, and he has been a great help to James over the years. However, I am severely allergic to dogs, to the point where I could have a severe reaction if I am around them for an extended period of time. This is something my family is well aware of. When we sent out the invitations for our wedding, we made it clear that there would be a strict no pets policy. Due to my allergies, James and his parents approached us and asked if Max could be an exception. As he is a service dog and not just a pet, they assured us that Max would be on his best behavior, and that he would not cause any problems. As much as I understand the importance of Max to James, I had to say no. My wedding day is supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, and I do not want to risk having a severe allergic reaction during the ceremony or reception. I explained this to James and his parents, and I offered to help find alternative accommodations for Max during the wedding. However, my decision has caused a lot of controversy in the family. Some of my relatives believe that I am being selfish and inconsiderate, while others understand my point of view and support my decision. James is understandably upset, and I feel terrible about the situation. So, am I the asshole for not allowing my nephew to bring his service dog to my wedding? You have competing medical needs that are incompatible, but you have to go to your wedding. Your nephew doesn't. So, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Being the service dog does not change fact that Max is still a dog. I understand this sucks for some members of the family, but it's riskier with your right to mitigate. Service dog trainer here. Private functions are exempt from ADA, which addresses public access rules and rights. This is comparable to choosing a private venue that lacks wheelchair access. Her reasoning is valid for a private affair. But, honestly, she doesn't need to provide a reason. It feels like a focus-stealing sideshow. Not the asshole. Your family thinks James attending is more important than you breathing at your own wedding. Do they not realize allergies are protected by ADA too? Not the asshole. Sorry, nephew. But in a showdown between your attendants and the bride being able to breathe at her own wedding, the bride wins. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You don't want to be rushed to the hospital in the middle of your wedding. Also, you're offering services for the service dog as well. Like, does James know how you're allergic is? Like, I seen a kid who is allergic to peanuts had an allergic reaction when a teacher opened a bag of trail mix in a classroom. And they were on the opposite side of the room. Not the asshole. However, my decision has caused a lot of controversy in the family. Some of my relatives believe that I am being selfish and inconsiderate. I'm sorry. Your family thinks it's selfish to not want to suffer an allergic reaction on your wedding day? This isn't about the dog behaving properly. This is about your health. It's an unfortunate set of circumstances. And I do not envy you, Op. But it's your wedding, and if you do not think you can handle Max being there, then that should be the end of it. I love all these people saying YTA. Jesus. It's her wedding. She doesn't want to spend it in the throes of an allergy attack. And she's in the wrong for that? Give me a break. Nah. Op. He needs his service dog. You are allergic to dogs. Nobody's fault. Not sure how to tell you to deal with a crap set of circumstances. Is this an outdoor wedding? Not the asshole. I don't know how anyone expected you to work around your allergies. It sucks all around. So Op, I hear you got married. How was it? I have no idea. I was so doped up on drugs I only vaguely remember putting on my dress. And well, then there was the whole hospital trip, because wouldn't you know I was exaggerating when I said I was severely allergic. So yeah. I really wouldn't know. Not the asshole. Bride's actual health trumps any guests. As the bride is essential to the wedding and the guest is not. They want him to be an exception to your allergies. Just like, ask your allergies to take the day off. I get needing your medical equipment, but this is why mental health patients are counseled to have multiple coping mechanisms. You can't always have your best one. They don't know how this works. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I read Totally Ready to Condemn You based on the title. But allergies are no joke, and on your wedding, this is a no-brainer. You offered to work with them to find alternative accommodations. If they won't work with you, that's on them. If a person has such severe anxiety to need a service animal, maybe they should stay home anyway. It's not like he's a child. He's 18, yo. BTW. Congratulations, I hope you have a wonderful wedding and marriage. Not the asshole. If the only way that James can manage his anxiety and panic attacks is with a service dog, that is completely valid. However, his valid medical need doesn't mean he gets to ignore your valid medical need not to be exposed to a severe allergen. As someone with allergies, not the asshole, I can't imagine having a reaction on my own wedding just because someone insisted on bringing a dog to it. I really can't imagine someone being okay with you having an allergic reaction just to have your cousin at it. WTF is wrong with your family? Don't they care about you? Last time I had an attack, I vomited of how many times I sneezed. And I passed out after taking my medicine. How would anyone subject you to something like that on your wedding? Not the asshole. Dealing with allergies is not fun. You deserve to be comfortable on your wedding day. Don't let your family push you into this. He's an 18-year-old guy. When I was 18, anything that got me out of attending a family wedding was great news. My dog can't go, so I can't go. Yeah, oh wait. That's so sad. I have to miss a huge family event and go hang out with my friends all day. How will I ever get over it? Not the asshole. Info: if you're this allergic, then presumably you don't spend time around your nephew and his dog, so you can't possibly be very close. And if that's the case, why does anyone care so much if he's at your wedding? Not the asshole. The people calling you selfish and inconsiderate for not wanting to have a severe allergic reaction during your own wedding are assholes. It's wonderful your cousin has a service animal who helps him and can alert him to avoid an event of his own. But in this case, you can't not be at your wedding. Unlike James, your presence is required. Am I the asshole for not pulling over at my coworker's request while transporting a cheetah between zoos? I'm a zookeeper of 11 years and got the call yesterday that we'd acquired 2 cheetahs from another zoo about 4 hours away. Happens from time to time. Zoos decide that particular animals might be better off at one's facility than another. We left in one of our transport vans around 2 p.m. I took 2 keepers with me. Let's call them Seth, who's been around as a swing keeper for a few years, has a bit of cat experience, and Megan, fairly new to the industry. Brought her partially for the experience and partially because she was the only other one who wanted some extra hours working late. We arrive at 6 p.m. and get to see these 2 beautiful cheetahs. And Seth helps me get them loaded into our crates. He does ask shouldn't we wait for them to go potty before driving back with them, which I know is a common practice sometimes. But I said nah, it could be hours, and the van smells of animals already. We'll be getting back late enough as it is. So they agreed and we headed back. It was a bit cramped, but we made it work. Megan sat up front with me and Seth sat in the back with the cheetah crates. Had to keep them in the passenger compartment to observe them, make sure they're okay. The drive back went fine until right before the 3-hour mark. Predictably, one of the cheetahs relieved itself. Seth said, oh no, it went. And a few seconds later the smell hit us up front. Honestly, to me it just smelled like healthy cheetah poo. I was mostly just happy to know the cheetah we got was healthy. It sprayed 2 intact male cheetah, which did make it worse. When the smell hit Megan, though, she started gagging, saying, oh my god, it's atrocious. I agreed, but kept driving. Less than a minute later she said, please can we pull over? I'm going to be sick. I said that it'll be hard to clean this. It's only another hour and a half tops. But she said, I don't know if I can make it an hour in this. I really hoped we could make it back. But when even Seth lost his composure and started retching, I knew this wasn't good. And Megan was practically crying. So I relented and pulled off at the next exit and pulled up behind a gas station to clean the crate. But not before Megan threw up. Seth had to help me transfer the cheetah, and then we cleaned the crate and Megan's vomit. Then we got back in. But Megan recoiled and gagged, saying the van still reeked of vomit, cheetah poo and spray. Which was true. She asked if we could let it air out for another hour. But I said no, sorry. It'd barely help and we need to be getting back. She looked ill and miserable the whole drive back and has been a bit standoffish to me since. I'm not her regular direct manager, so it's not really my place to intervene. Seth did say the next day that's what I was afraid of. But I think my actions were justified. Am I the asshole? TL doctor didn't pull over right away when Cheetah had an accident. Coworker got sick. Now this is absolutely the most interesting post I've seen here in a while. I am forever jealous of your cheetah friend. Out of curiosity, does your zoo pair them with a pup? Not the asshole. I've done animal transports. Freezing. Wet. Smelling horribly. The animals come first. There is no waiting. You make it as short and as least stressful as possible for the animal. People can deal with it. Awesome that you stopped for them to hurl. I woulda passed him a bucket. All the YTAs coming from people who have never worked with non-domesticated animals. This seems like part of the job. I think it should have been made clear beforehand that this is a risk. But this is sort of like a refuse collector complaining about the smell. It's understandable, but maybe you should be a sommelier. Not a zookeeper time. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. For all the YTA. Let us put it in perspective. An ambulance is carrying a patient from one hospital to another. The patient is stable for now. But that can quickly change. You must transport the patient as swiftly and safely as possible. You are driving. The other two EMTs are somewhat new. The patient suddenly defecates and urinates himself. It stinks terribly. The others want to hurl. Do you pull over or continue? Do you pull over? And do you wait to air out the cabin? The patient could suddenly have a severe medical issue and die. What do you do? Any EMTs? What would you do? Not the asshole. The smell is part of the job. She'll get used to it in time. Not the asshole. It's too bad Megan was sick. But the cheetahs were in cages and likely ill and terrified. They needed to reach their destination as soon as possible. Had Megan really been too ill to continue, she could have stayed at the gas station and alternate transportation for her could have been arranged. Making the animals suffer extra should not have been seen as an option, and she is surely in the wrong line of work. Not the asshole. You're zookeepers. Animals are going to do what animals are going to do. This sounds like a normal part of a job that is sometimes stinky. Sounds like Megan, and perhaps Seth, should find a different career. The bigger issue for me is her trying to get you to stay to air out the truck. Sure. Fine. She had to puke and you pulled over, but that can be considered an emergency stop. Letting the truck with two highly poachable animals inside air out for another hour? Not a chance. I don't work with animals, but it doesn't surprise me that someone may throw up the first time when they're really hit with a smell like that. However, if that's what they want to do professionally, she needs to learn to soldier through it. She's not gonna be able to air out the truck whenever there's a bad smell. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Animals poop and pee. It does not smell good. That's the reality of the job. Not the asshole. Animals come first in that industry. Even stopping for 15 minutes could add much unneeded stress on those animals who are already known to be very anxious. Not everyone is cut to be in that industry for a reason, just like how not everyone can be a surgeon. People saying to forget the animals are putting aside the biggest factor in this question. Not the asshole. That's life of transporting an animal. She has to know this. I'm a population ecologist and I've definitely just forced myself to deal with all the awful smells. of animals. I would not wait to pull over. I would not just sit there for an hour while it airs out. This position does not work for her. Info: is the intent for Megan to work with big cats at all? If so, I thought this was something all big cat keepers had to go through. Haha. I know I threw up 6 times my first week working with lions, but they never gave me any breaks or help enduring it, and said eventually I'd acclimate if I stuck with it. Finally I hoof. It took some time, I'll tell you that. If not, then why WBTA? Don't put people through that smell who don't need to deal with it as part of their jobs. I don't know enough to judge. But this post does make me more happy to know that some African countries apparently use cheetah poop to punish convicted captured cheetah poachers. Am I the asshole for charging my 18-year-old rent and making her pay her phone bill and car insurance? My wife and I have 6 kids between 18 years and 12 weeks. We have a nanny to help with the kids, but on Friday the nanny was taking my 5-year-old on a class trip. I was with my 8 and 10-year-olds for their sport. And my wife was helping her mom get ready for Easter, so I needed my 18-year-old to babysit my 18-month-old and 12-week-old. My oldest never protested to babysitting. She's great with her siblings, but I guess on Friday she didn't want to help with them, so after I left she called her boyfriend of 2 years to help her with the kids. She did not tell anyone that he was babysitting with her. I found out when I came home and the boyfriend was feeding my youngest. I asked my daughter what he was doing here and she said she asked him for help babysitting. I told her she can't bring random men around my kids without permission, and she turned it into an argument about how I don't like her boyfriend for no reason. I tried to take her phone, but she said I can't do that anymore since she's an adult, so I took her off my phone plan and my car insurance, and she'll be paying rent and utilities for her room. My wife is completely against this and is using her savings to pay her phone bill and car insurance until I add her back to our plans. And she swears that if I make her pay rent she's leaving with the kids. Her family and my parents are on her side, so I wanted to know if I was the asshole. My oldest never protested babysitting. Buddy, if you get to charge her for rent, she gets to invoice you for childcare. You're the asshole. Homie, if your wife is threatening to leave over this, I think y'all may have more issues than you think. You've been relying on your oldest daughter for child rearing more than you admit, and she should be treated as the young adult she is. Her boyfriend is not some random man and was very nice for stepping in to help with a toddler and infant. You're the asshole. And get yourself fixed. You're the asshole. Stop having children if you, your wife, are unable to take care of them. You had choices. Nanny didn't have to chaperone class trip. Wife didn't have help her mother prepare for Easter. Or you could have stayed home. Your eldest sounds like a great teenager and she wanted help with a toddler and infant. Instead of being grateful that her boyfriend stepped up, you were vindictive. You are reaching out to strangers instead of looking at what your wife and both sides of the families are saying. You are wrong. And you need to apologize and make this right. Of course you're the asshole. Your 18-year-old and her partner help you with childcare for free. Something she has never protested about. And your response is to think she owes you. You're the asshole. Generally, people who keep on popping out kids and expect their older siblings to co-parent because they are not willing able to supply the attention the younger kids need are major assholes. There are of course the other stuff that make you even bigger asshole: rent, SRSLY. But I am more disgusted by people's unwillingness to buy a fucking contraception and stop being an asshole to their oldest kids. Hope it helped. You're the asshole. You overreacted. This went from 0-100 really quick. How is her boyfriend of 2 years? Random men. LMAO. Get out of here. Apologize. Talk about rules. And move on. You're the asshole. A normal response would have been to greet him and thank him for keeping your daughter company during this last-minute imposition on her time. Then you could have apologized for disrupting their Friday night plans, thanked them both again, and slid them $40 for their time and inconvenience. Imagine if in response to your petty retaliation, your 18 years old just never helped with her siblings again. Have fun finding a reliable sitter. And you're going to have to pay them. And you won't always get them if you have an emergency. You're the asshole. Her BF of 2 years is hardly some random man. Also, your kids are your responsibility, not your daughter's. Yep. Huge R. I can't believe you don't see that. The kids are your responsibility, not hers. She is not free childcare. But that is how you treat her. You do know her BF. He's not some random guy. What you did was way over the top. You sound horrible to live with. Entitled. Ungrateful. Controlling. I feel bad for your poor wife and kids. When I first read "We Have a Nanny," I couldn't read anymore because my eyes rolled so far back in my head. I needed to call my doctor. Now that I've finished reading, you're the asshole. You force your oldest to provide childcare for infants for free at the last minute. And then you proceed to punish her because she had company to help a random man who she's apparently been randomly dating for 2 years. This reads like some weird overbearing macho dad BS. Your daughter doesn't seem to have done a single thing wrong. And your wife is right. Again. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. If I were your wife, I'd be furious. She has 2 babies and an elderly mother to care for, plus 3 mid-sized kids. And you are driving her best helper away with your control games. If you don't provide eldest daughter with phone and car insurance, why would she want to live in a house with 4 little kids that she is expected to help raise? She will move out and leave you high and dry. So with the added bills you've given her for watching your kids with help for free, are you planning on getting a babysitter? Because I wouldn't expect her to do any favors for you anytime soon. And if you continue to treat your kids like this, don't be surprised when they don't talk to you when they move out. Why couldn't you have cared for the youngest 2 and your daughter go to sport with the older 2? They're your kids, not hers. You're the asshole. Yes, you're the asshole. Stop using your oldest as another parent for your kids. It's not her responsibility to take care of 2 babies. You need to get another nanny if you can't figure it out without her. That out of the way. She still allows you to abuse her being there, but enlisted help from her boyfriend, and you accuse her of having strange men around your kids. How about we revert back to my first point and you figure out taking care of your own kids? Why does a nanny need to go on a field trip is my one question of the day. You're the asshole. I've worked in a school for 28 years without a parent even joining a field trip. You decided to have all these kids, not the kids. Be an adult and take care of it, or get a babysitter. You don't know your daughter's boyfriend of 2 years? We are missing info here. You're the asshole. If everyone in the family disagrees with you, turning to random strangers on the internet really shouldn't be your next move. You're the asshole. Do you know any other 18-year-olds who would watch 2 kids under 2 by themselves without notice? She got her boyfriend to help, which made it safer for all your kids. You are so far out of line. You wanted your daughter to take care of a newborn and a toddler for free. Without help? You're the asshole for that alone. But you're especially tar for throwing a fit over the fact that her boyfriend was there helping. They weren't sneaking off, making out, doing drugs, etc. He was helping feed your baby. You need to apologize to your daughter.
Am I the asshole for not buying a new graduation dress? I bought a champagne-colored grad dress. I go to a small school, so high school grad and prom are the same night, same dance event. So this is a formal prom dress. A couple from my grade just got engaged and announced they're going to get married the weekend after graduation. The problem is, the bride-to-be is planning to wear white to prom and asked that I get a new dress because mine is too bridal and would take away attention from her. I told her no, and her friends are being really mean and hostile towards me. Am I the asshole? It would be timely and costly to sell mine and buy a new dress. And I really love the one I bought. Edit. Thank you so much everyone. I'm reading all of your comments. I feel like less of a bad guy now. Not the asshole. Prom isn't her event and has nothing to do with her wedding. Wear your dress. Not the asshole. Prom is not her wedding. So she's bogarting prom graduation, which is a formal event, and trying to take the attention for herself. What a loser. Not the asshole. This is prom, not her engagement party, right? So she has no right to tell you what to wear. It's your prom as much as hers. Wear what you want. Not the asshole. Intar, wear the dress. She can't control you. They'll probably get divorced in a few years anyways. Not the asshole. She is being ridiculous. The audacity of her to call dibs on white dresses for every single unrelated event leading up to her wedding. It sounds like she is too cheap to pay for her own engagement party, so she's trying to usurp prom graduation. Very weird. But that is not your problem. She is being an asshole and you should definitely not give in to her weirdo demands. Not the asshole. Even if she was getting married at prom, she would have zero say in what you wear. This is your event as much as it is hers. Not the asshole. How is this even a question? What a princess. Not your concern. Not the asshole. And this proves my point why graduation age is a bit too young to engage. What a childish request. Prom and graduation is about celebrating everybody's hard work for the last years, while engagement and marriage are only about the couple and their love. So no. It's a stupid idea and you don't have to go with her wish. You go get looking stunning in a champagne-colored dress. Not the asshole. Prom isn't her wedding and it's not all about her. You do you. You won't have to ever see them again after graduation. 18-year-olds getting married week after graduation. Don't worry too hard. This thing is only lasting 3 years. Wear what you want. You'll be using the photos far longer. Not the asshole. Graduation is not her event. Because I'm petty. I'd see how many parents I could convince to get their daughters flowers. So as many girls as possible can be standing around in nice dresses with bouquets. Not the asshole. The prom has absolutely nothing to do with the wedding. Who gets married at 17? Anyway, you wear the dress you purchased and wear it proudly. Go off to college and enjoy your single carefree days. You probably won't see much of these people anyway. I mean, she can just choose not to wear her wedding dress to prom. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but expect him to try to ruin your dress tbh. High school girls are mean. And if you show up in it, I can see them planning on how to spill punch or sauce or something on it. To embarrass you. I wouldn't get a new dress personally. But I'd be cautious of being around them, their friends. Not the asshole. Wear it. It's a prom, not a wedding. Not the asshole. That's absolutely hilarious. Thanks for the laugh. Prom is not about a single person. And it sure as hell is not her wedding ceremony reception. Don't change your dress. She can cry about it all she wants, but prom is not about her. Not the asshole. She is way out of line. They are two separate events, the wedding and the graduation. You're wearing what you love to an event for a wide audience does not take away from her day. Not the asshole. She, on the other hand, sounds like a rather entitled asshole. Not the asshole. It's also your graduation. Who does she think she is? Not the asshole. Prom isn't her wedding. Known they can have sex without getting married, right? Sorry, but who gets married that? Not the asshole. Graduation, prom are not wedding events. Not the asshole. Is she serious? If she will buy you a new dress. Okay. But absolutely do not change your dress because of her last-minute request. Sounds like classic high school mean girl behavior. This is so petty and just proves that she's way too immature to get married. Not the asshole. She does not get to hijack prom, graduation, and make it a celebration of her upcoming wedding. Not the asshole. They will be broken up 2 weeks into summer. I'd return the dress and go out and buy a white wedding dress to wear. Not the asshole. Tons of people wear white graduation dresses. About 75 of my high school did. Not the asshole. Her wedding is about her and her fiancé. Graduation is about everyone in the class grade. Not the asshole. If she wanted everyone to wear what she requests, then pick a different day and send the requests in the invitation. They can choose to come or not. Not the asshole. But why am I getting Carrie vibes? Hopefully there's no pig's blood at prom. No one owns prom. And don't know about you. But at my prom 35 years ago there were multiple people with the same dress. Very few places to shop a fancy dress. Not the asshole. My first prom. A girl in my grade tried to bully people like me to not wear pink since she was going to wear pink. I deflected when she asked me what color my dress was. And then I wore pink anyway. Got a lot of nasty looks. But loved my dress anyway. Wear your dress. I bet you look great in it. A couple from your grade in school. I'd put $100 on her being knocked up. Not the asshole. The prom is not her wedding. You are not her server, sorry. Bridesmaid. You aren't going to her wedding that night. You're going to your prom. There is zero need to waste money on a second dress because princess main character so demands. She can shove it. Not the asshole. You wear what you want. She can wear what she wants. It isn't about her. It is your prom too. Not the asshole. At the high school I graduated from, all girls wore white to graduation. I can't imagine how much she would lose her head at that. Wear the dress you bought and are excited for and let drama llamas be. Edit removed the word dresses. Because we had a couple badass white suits I forgot about till I hit post. Not the asshole. Champagne isn't white. Nor is it bridal. Nor does your classmate get to dictate what you wear to prom. Prom isn't her wedding. She isn't in charge. Not the asshole. There's an area in my province where all the girls wear white to prom and lots of them manage to get married later without issue lol. How does your dress affect her wedding? Which Walmart is the wedding going to be at? Not the asshole. Who hijacks a graduation prom for a makeshift engagement party? Little Miss Bridezilla needs to slow her roll. Not the asshole. She's showing that she might not be mature enough to get married in the first place.